morning, students. Welcome back to the
David
and Herman 7th grade science show. Today we're going to take our seedlings, or if we had seedlings, and put them in dirt. Hopefully you've got dirt somewhere around your house or potting soil around your house. And we're going to make an aquifer that resembles the aquifer that's under San Jacinto and Hemet. So under San Jacinto and Hemet is this huge aquifer of water. And the local farmers, if you look at their crops, you'll see little pump stations, different places. And every year they have to decide if they're going to pump their water out of the aquifer or buy it from Eastern Municipal Water District. You know? So what today we're going to do is I'm going to show you how you can make an aquifer in a bucket. You'll need some water bottles, empty water bottles that have caps on them. And you'll need a cloth, and you'll need some buckets, just kitty litter buckets, Home Depot buckets, chlorine buckets, something buckets is clean, okay? So David and I are going to show you how to make an aquifer. We'll plant the seedlings from the prior lab, the little water things that you put in water, and we're going to put those in the aquifer, and you're going to be surprised how much they grow once they get some dirt and soil around them, okay?
Awesome. But I think maybe we should take this one outside as well, Mr. Hilke, because
you think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So join us outside, and we're going to make a aquifer. Big name. If you live in San Jacinto and Hemet, you need to know about the aquifer, because we wouldn't be here as a town or community or farming community if we didn't realize that there's a huge aquifer, like a big reservoir under us. Okay. So let's go outside and follow along. If you have dirt, bucket, and maybe a cloth, and your seedlings from the cuttings we did last week. Okay?
All right.
Outside. Good morning, students. Today we're going to continue our lesson on sustainability. As we get more and more people all over the world, we need to come up with some way to feed the mass of people and use less water. So today is the second step. First step, you all planted your gardens, and I thank you very much for all the pictures you sent in. It was very good. Most of them, I think, got to SCLA News. So let's look at our little products here. So camera person can zoom in. Look at that beet. Isn't that nice? 1 week. Very good. Also, a winner is the leek. Look at that. Okay, something out of a science. Ah! Cool. All right. And then little onion is doing quite well. It's like a little spider. Okay. Celery starting to come on. Surprisingly, the little radicchio is showing some roots, but we'll do that later, okay? But today we're going to let him just refresh him. Potatoes, I think, bit it. Potatoes look pretty bad, but we'll see. We'll refresh them today. We're going to plant the beet, the leek, and the onion today, all right? But when we do that, we're going to plant them in a very special way. We're going to plant them in a planter. You're going to make a planter that has an aquifer in it. So under San Jacinto is this huge water aquifer. And if you look at all the crops around San Jacinto and Hemet, they pull off this aquifer usually. Sometimes they buy it from the water company, or sometimes they pump it out. So I want you to know these words today. Below San Jacinto is a huge aquifer. And that's why the crops do so well in San Jacinto. And we're going to make a planter that takes advantage of a built-in aquifer, and it's going to pull water up from your little aquifer in the bottom of the planter. All right? So I'm going to put this aside. Over here. So to make your little planter, get any kind of a bucket, leftover bucket. I have this bucket and I cut it. So if you cut it, have your parents help you cut it, because it didn't cut very well. A tall bucket like this is almost too tall unless you plant maybe a tomato in it, and then it grows off the top. Okay? You'll need water bottles. Juice bottles work better because they need to be strong enough to hold up under the pressure of the dirt. These bottles are a little more rigid. Do not use regular drinking water. Do not use these. They simply are not strong enough, and they'll just collapse under the pressure of the dirt. So do not use bottles. All right? So I'm going to start with this square bucket. This is going to be our first planter. Now, what I need you to do, oops, TVs won't hold up. get a water bottle or a juice bottle, and you see it's kind of strong. Take the lid off and cut a hole in the bottom of it. Put a couple in the bottom. If you can get more, fine. Now what we've done is we've put an aquifer in the bottom. I'll need your parents then, get your parents to help you, drill a hole. Where's my drill? Drill a hole about where the top of the aquifer bottles are. Just one. If you want to put two, you can, but you don't need it. Okay? Or have your parents do that. So now I've got places for the water, excess water to run off to the next farm. And then we have the spacers. The water will collect inside these empty bottles. So if the water collects inside the bottle, that becomes our aquifer. Yo ho! Yo ho! So this is going to be our first planter. So we're going to produce an aquifer in the bottom of our bottle. We're going to use the capillary action that causes the water to come up through the dirt like a wick. It's called wicking. Okay? So now what we're going to do is put a piece of cloth. What's wrong? Or you can use a Home Depot bucket. I want to move the kids out of the way. So you can use a Home Depot bucket. You can use a little bucket, kitty litter bucket, whatever you've got. Doesn't have to be this deep, but deep enough to cover the water bottles. Get a piece of cloth. It's called fabric, garden fabric. You can get it at Home Depot or Lowe's. Get a commercial quality. Press it down inside so it covers up the bottles. This will keep the dirt from getting down into our little homemade aquifer. It's porous, so it lets the water wick through and allow the capillary action to pull the water up to our plants. Now, we're ready to add our soil. We don't want to add dirt because dirt has no value. We add soil. So I bring my soil. Where's my soil? Ah, my soil. Potty mix. And to give it a little bit of fiber, I got some leaves and stir it up a bit. A little more soil. Yes. And I'm going to have some more leaves. Not too much. Stir it up a bit. I need more, so I'm going to have to get a new bag here. A little different looking, a little darker looking soil. Soil has decomposing plants and byproducts that dirt doesn't. Dirt doesn't have any rich soil to it at all. So we want some soil. Soil has very special meaning to it. All right. Maybe one more scoop. What do you think? What do you think? Okay. Pretty good? Yeah. Okay. Now, I'm going to push down a little bit because I want the cloth to be flexible enough to flex down into the aquifer area. And then when that soil gets down in that aquifer area, it will allow the water to wick up through to the top plants using what's called the capillary action. You know, that's still not very deep. All right, there we go. That should be enough. Packing down. Okay, what do you think, photographer? Okay, so now I want to put a little bit of water in it, just to get it used to it, not much. And now you need a piece of PVC pipe. This is just old PVC, doesn't matter what size it is. I found this in a trash can. And so what you want to do is put the PVC pipe down between the cloth and the outside of your bucket, all the way down to the bottom, and you can see. Now watch closely. See how that's all the way down to the bottom? And you want to put it between the cloth and the outside, and that's how you're going to water it through that pipe. And you'll water through that pipe, it will fill up your aquifer, and then it'll allow the soil to do its own little thing. You see, let's fold this baby in like that. And then the water will wick up to plants. So in this one, I'm going to put my beets. Wow, look at that. Isn't that cool? So I'm going to save the toothpicks for the next beet. Put this in, dig a little hole for it. I don't want to cover up the crown. Pack a little soil around it. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, yeah. Okay. And I'm going to put, should I put all three in one? Different ones? Can I put two in here? How about two? How about the leek? Okay, we'll put the leek in. Wow, look at that. Isn't that nice? So, I'm going to dig a little hole. Don't break the roots. Those wonderful little roots are doing a wonderful job. Okay, now I'm going to spray down I'm going to water down. Sorry. So I'm going to put water into the pipe, and that will fill up my aquifer. It makes sense? I probably should take this off or turn the water pressure on more, and I will fill up the aquifer. So what we have then is we have an aquifer down here, and then rich soil, not dirt, but soil on top, and then on top we have our beets and the leek. And you'll water it once a week or so, and it'll leach up. You got that? Can you go back to your chair, please? The students in here are terrible. They walk around all the time. Okay, so we're ready to go. We'll do 3 more. In a couple days, we'll check in with you. I'd like to see every one of you send in pictures or videos of you planting the special reservoir aquifer type planter. Very nice, very cute. And then we'll check with you, okay? All right, so welcome back to our lesson on sustainability. We've got a couple of new students. I know the language. I speak the language. Maybe I don't. And as you can see, they don't know where their chairs are. They're kind of walking around in the classroom. So our lesson on sustainability. We just finished showing you how to make a planter with a built-in aquifer. We put in it a couple of plants, and we have one more plant ready to go, and that's the onion. So we're going to plant the onion now into this. So I'll take the onion. See the carrot, look up, close up on the carrot. Isn't that gorgeous? But the roots aren't coming out. So we're going to leave that in the water. And I made a mistake with the potatoes. So you should plant the potatoes with the eyelets up, not down. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to salvage this potato. I'm going to turn it around the other way. And I know this is terrible. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt the potato. It doesn't hurt the potato. And I'm going to put it like that. And the same with the other one. I'm going to turn it upside down. Ow! Ouch. And we'll see if we can salvage this little potato here. Okay, but it should be planted like this. You cut a piece off, you put that in the water, and the eyes are up. The eyes are up. Eyes have it. Eyes are up. And so this is the way you should plant your potato, and not the way we had it. We'll see if those survive. All right. So here we go. I have the cloth, industrial cloth. I have 2 bottles down here, heavy-duty bottles with holes in them. I have a hole for water that my parents drilled for me, and so we'll fill that to them. Onions ready to go, so I'll take the toothpicks off the onion. Wow, look at that. Isn't that great? Little guy doing well. And so I'm going to plant it in here. I want to cover up the crown. I'm going to take the water. I just finished out the water. I'm going to give it a little boost of water now. Okay. So now I have some more water. I'll fill up the aquifer through this pipe until it comes out the hole in the side. And then it'll be watering itself. The soil will allow the aquifer to bleed through the cloth, and so the capillary action will force what we call a wicking process, and the water will wick just like a candle wick up in, and it'll keep my plants in perfect condition without me watering them every day. Okay, you got it? Now the 2 new students in class are asleep. Not my fault. And the neighbor's dog, that's not my dog, it's the neighbor's dog. He likes it here. All right, so we'll see you in a couple days. Have a good day. Sustainability is what we're talking about. Cut. That's a wrap. Okay, so somebody asked, how do you know when you've given it enough water? So watch this. I will put the water into the spout, and when it comes out the little hole in the side, there it is. I know I've given enough water. And this one, the same thing. I'll put water in the top, and when it comes out the little hole in the side, my aquifer is full, and that's all it needs. Pretty cool. And it's been watered now for a week. All right, good morning. So now we're going to finish up our lab on sustainability. We're going to learn about sustainability, and in a very small way, I want you to plant something. Most of you have already planted something from the previous lab. So if you look closely, you can see we started out, here's our little carrot. Carrot's got some roots growing very nicely. You see the roots? And our celery's come along quite nicely. So last time we met, we planted an onion and a beet. Can you zoom in on that onion and beet? How nice they look. Doing quite well. And we made these planters. Remember, these planters have a couple of empty bottles in the bottom with the bottom cut out and the top off. And then there's this layer of cloth, heavy commercial cloth, and that keeps the dirt from getting involved with our aquifer. And then we have a pipe here, and the water runs down to the aquifer, and you can see it's been leaking out here, and that allows the water to capillary action up or wick up and keep the perfect vegetation. You don't have to water it all the time, just once in a while. You guys got that? So today we planted a potato over here. I don't know if it's going to make it or not, but we hope so. There's a little bit of vegetation. We're going to take our carrot. We're going to plant a carrot. Don't want to cover it up too much. Oops, better take the toothbrushes out. And we're going to take our celery. And we're going to plant the celery next to the carrot. Okay, so there we have a potato, our celery, and our carrot. In the bottom of this is a aquifer, or a space that keeps it from losing its water. So it collects water, it does a wicking up through the cloth, and so these will grow without much water. You got it? So I need you to try this. Try one. Don't do a lot of them, just try one, okay? All right, so we're now going to take a look at how much this has changed in the last couple of days. All right, so follow me if you will, and we're going to look at how our little garden's doing just in the last couple of weeks, okay? Cut it. Cool. You're getting closer. There you go. Okay, now, here's the tomatoes, and already within a couple of weeks we have red tomatoes. We've already eaten some of them. Look how big these tomatoes are getting. Isn't that wonderful? Amazing, they're growing. Our zucchini's doing really, really well. Tomato plants are going to town. Look how big they are. Avocado tree. It's been here for a while.
Right.
And over here we've even got strawberries and some zucchini, maybe some watermelon there. We have some bell peppers. We have some more strawberries and some weeds we have to pull. Okay. This is a similar thing. We've got an aquifer underneath these. These roll around, and there's a level underneath of water, and it wicks up and keeps these at the perfect moisture. And we come down here, we have more tomatoes and more zucchini. So I don't expect you to feed the world. Don't plant a bunch of stuff. Just get a couple things that work out. And if a couple things work out, you'll go, that was kind of fun, right? So just try one thing, at least one thing. Try it, send me a picture, and it'll be in the SLA News. You got it? Go Lions.